Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I don't know if the lighting is like doing something weird, is it? Can you see me okay? Can you see me okay? If you can see me, then you're okay. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emmy. If you don't know, now you know. We're just gonna get right into it because your girl's in a rush and I have an appointment at 4:30. Saturn return. I know it's daunting. It may be approaching. It may have passed for you. Saturn is one of our outer planets. It's more generational, like the outer planets, Neptune, Saturn, and Pluto are all generational. They don't change out of a sign as quickly, so they can change out like 8, 10, 12 years type of thing, which is why I say generational. But Saturn in your birth chart, what Saturn shows in someone's birth chart, it's very like pivotal moments, okay? These are moments that may have shaped your personality. These are major moments that may have impacted your family life or your relationship with your family, relationships in general. Depending on the placement, affects foundation, if that makes sense. So Saturn, it takes 27 to 30 years for Saturn to go back into its original sign. So for example, I'm a Saturn in Aries. Right now, Saturn is in Pisces, so I won't be going through my Saturn return for another 3 years because it just switched and it's gonna be in Pisces for the next 3 years. Oh my God, I feel like the lighting is so bad. I'm so sorry. It's gonna be better if I'm closer. That's like really close though. I don't know if I want you this close, but I think the quality looks a little better. I could be tripping. A return basically is something that when any planet returns, Mars return, Venus return, whatnot, that means that the planet has moved back into the sign that you were born in. If you were born with Mars in Gemini and it just passed, it was just in Gemini, that means you just completed your Mars return. Saturn returns, it takes about 27 to 30 years, which means that you will only experience 4 if you're lucky, Saturn returns, right? When you're approaching 30, when you're approaching 60, and when you're approaching 90. Hey, you could approach 120. And they last about 3 years because Saturn will transit in a sign for 3 years. And I know that Saturn returns get a bad rep and they get, like, oh, it's so scary and traumatizing and whatnot, but I really don't think you should look at it this way. Like, yes, it can be scary because what Saturn rules restrictions, right? It rules responsibilities, time, foundation, structure, stability. Stability even. So when Saturn returns, like Saturn, even though it makes these dramatic changes in your life, Saturn is full of wisdom, and Saturn is very, what's the word when things start to click? Like, think of Phoenix from the ashes, something like that, where it's like things have to be broken down before things can be rebuilt, before you can really discover who you are, really discover your passions, really discover what career you want, really discover that this is the partner for you, whatever area it may be. It's very like a tower moment, right? Things have to get worse before they get better. Sometimes, okay? I don't think this is true always, but sometimes. A Saturn return is gonna affect everybody differently. Your Saturn could be in a different house than mine. Your Saturn may be in a different sign than mine, right? So it's going to affect you differently than me. Those two factors will impact you differently than somebody who's also born the same year as you that may have the same Saturn sign. Even though I haven't gone through my Saturn return yet, not looking forward to it, but I am. Honestly, I feel like I already am. I feel like my whole life feels like a Saturn return, okay? My whole life feels this way. So I'm not really like worried about it because I already know that through and through trials and tribulations, I know I can handle it. And that's kind of the mindset that you should have when you go in through your Saturn return. I feel like a lot of accountability has to take place when you're going through your Saturn return. So basically, shit has to get ugly before it gets better, like we were saying. And that can really look like anything. Saturn, what it does is it removes things that no longer serves you, right? So it could be your lease ending abruptly. It could be, maybe water, like a flood, you destroys your home. Like, it could be, I'm so sorry, I'm not wishing this on anybody, but your relationship, your partner breaks up with you in a dramatic way, you lose your job, you're forced to move to a different state. It could be health issues. It could be, Saturn does rule father, right? Your relationship with your father. So, there could be something that breaks your relationship or is very traumatic in your relationship with your father. An unexpected bill, medical bill, emergency room bill, things like that. It could be health issues depending on where you have it. Saturn does rule bones. So possible, depending on your house. Not knowing what you want to do with your life anymore, feeling like you're going through an existential crisis. Okay, so these are kind of very generic things that would really disturb somebody, really mess them up, really feel like, oh my God, what do I do now, right? That's kind of what Saturn is going to do to you. It's going to be like, oh my God, what do I do now, right? Saturn has a way of, this was your plan? Well, we're going to take you this way. That's basically what, and once you follow along and trust, you trust the divine, you trust God, you trust Allah, whatever you believe in. Once you trust, things start to move in a easier, smoother direction. Saturn will remove you from situations, any situation, right? Like kind of like what I just went over. And the less resistance you show, the sooner you can reap the benefits, right? The sooner that you can transform, right? And, you know, transmute old energy, right? Maybe you really thought that grad school was for you, okay? And you were about to start, and then life is like, no, you should follow your creative abilities. You should go to a different program, you know, you should, I don't know, like you have to be open to change. You have to be flexible. You have to understand that if you're going through your first Saturn return, you know, we grow up with like, this is how your life should be, right? And then you approach 30. And as the world has changed in such a drastic way since, you know, our parents were our age, it's a completely different world right now. And you could even be conflicted once you reach 30, or if you are already 30, about what you want to do, what you actually want. You know, you might have, if you have a foreign family, you might get pressure to be married, have kids, all these things, and you might not actually identify with that type of lifestyle. So letting go of those beliefs, right? Letting go of those, like, it's okay. It's okay to not want to do that. It's okay to not want to have kids. It's okay to drop out of grad school. It's okay to get a divorce if that's what you need to do. It's really embracing the change, embracing the fear, realizing that I am not satisfied or comfortable in this situation. I don't feel like I can grow anymore, right? And sometimes with Saturn returns, like what I've noticed from the people in my life when they go through them is like things are a lot more unexpected. Have a bit of flexibility when you're going through this transit. And I think it's really important, like this is a mindset that I've been adapting, but like whenever issues, whenever chaos, whenever problems arrive in my life, I have to just go through it. I have to go into it. I have to just face it. I can't run away from it. I can't follow my escapist habits. I can't distract myself by seeing my friends. I need to handle it, okay? So that's definitely a mentality that you want to have. Of course, it's kind of hard, like I said, to describe it, but like if this was, you really thought this person was your person for your whole life, and now life is saying, hey, you need to go in a different direction. Or maybe you start seeing different things like from your partner that makes you question, like, is this really the person for me? Well, if you're questioning it, then that's valid. I feel like Saturn can also be very karmic. It could be past life things that come up spiritually, you know, inheritance, you know, maybe losing inheritance, gaining inheritance, you know, it doesn't always have to be bad. Spiritually, you know, maybe even connecting with, I feel like people who have Pisces Saturn, like that are going through their Saturn return right now, I feel like that might be a bit more karmic, like a lot more clearing out past life trauma and generational trauma, or even just understanding what that means. It could even be some sort of like spiritual awakening, or, you know, converting religions. Hey, the possibilities is endless. I know that because I haven't experienced it, it might be hard to really listen to me, but being somebody that understands astrology has helped me when it comes to like understanding myself and improving myself, because I'm able to look at patterns that I have. During your Saturn return, just take responsibility. Take responsibility for your actions. Take responsibility for the things on your to-do list. Own up to things. Take accountability. Show up for yourself. Trust your intuition. Be committed to yourself. Be committed to your journey. Maybe this could even mean getting a therapist, you know, really talking to somebody, getting a career coach, getting a mentor. A Saturn return, if you allow it, it can really help you level up. Saturn is all about leveling up. Saturn is all about status. So, but sometimes there are these areas, these things that are holding us back, these people, these positions, these places that we live, and not being afraid to really listen. I'm not saying just take any whim and just do anything, but I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this now, but trust yourself, trust your intuition, and be committed to your path, your self-improvement, your values, your routine, your career, your business, whatever it is, be committed to those things. I think most importantly, be compassionate, be calm, be grounded in yourself, okay? Feel like chaos. Just because chaotic things are happening around you doesn't mean it has to be chaotic inside of you. Ooh, that was deep. Deep or corny, I really don't care. But yeah, being stable in yourself, being compassionate in yourself, understanding that these are things that are going to make you better. If you allow them to make you better, they will make you better, you know? And if you struggle with, like, let's say you get laid off or something. And of course your first instinct might be to follow your old coping mechanisms, right? Escapism, drinking, sex, drugs, alcohol, avoidance, whatever your thing is. Yeah, that would be your first instinct, right? So it could even just be like, that's what I mean by being compassionate with yourself and understanding, like, you know, I'm gonna get through this. I'm gonna get through this. This is not the first time I've been through something difficult. I can get up and do it again. I can get up and be successful every time. Think about every single time something went wrong. After something went wrong, something better came. So having that mindset and not falling for your old habits and really trying to adopt healthier coping mechanisms, which is why I said being grounded and being compassionate towards yourself, and hey, maybe journaling, maybe getting a therapist, maybe getting a mentor, you know, all these things. So situational, like I said. But if you are curious, if you are going through your Saturn return, about to, or just want to get a heads up on what this may look like for you, I definitely recommend looking at your birth chart. You're going to go to your birth chart, and then you're going to find where Saturn is in your birth chart, okay? Whatever house it's in. And then you're going to take a look at the sign, and you're going to, if you don't know how to read it yourself, you can go onto Google and Saturn in the 3rd house in Cancer. What does this mean? I think it may also be beneficial to take a look at where Capricorn is in your chart, what house you have Capricorn. If you have any planets in Capricorn as well, that may be beneficial. Oh, also paying attention to what is aspecting your Saturn, because that will be apparent during this transit as well. Wow, I really rushed this video. I hope I didn't like miss too much information. But yes, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being a part of my community. If this is your first time watching me, if you watched to the end, drop a heart so I know that I'm not talking to myself in my bedroom. But I do want to say thank you. I'm almost at 2,500, and that means a lot to me because, I don't know, finding my voice has always been something that was a little bit challenging for me, and you guys make me feel very safe to continue and share my opinions, and I really value you guys for commenting and liking and subscribing. So thank you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, and stay blessed, stay golden. Bye.